All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our regular episode of this week. What a week! What a week it was. What an amazing week it was, filled with, great deep information that you should be getting in Saturn retrograde in Scorpio. We had great Juan Paul Manley talk about magic on Jupiter and Saturn, and then you had Ernest Valine come here and literally shake you off your toes on Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I mean, my goodness, every day I am just making you guys more wise. And if you haven't seen that, please check out that video of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto that I did just this week with Ernest. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about Sun in the 6th house for Aries Ascendant particularly. And as you know, I've already made videos on Sun in signs and Sun in houses, but this is quite different. This is actually, we're combining the sign and the house together and seeing what is coming up with these positions. So first of all, if you do not know where your Sun is placed, what sign it's in, what degrees it's in, all the other planets, for that, check out the links here. And check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light. And especially on the second page of your report, you will see exactly where all the planets are placed. So, Sun in the sign of Virgo for Aries Ascendant. Well, first of all, Aries Ascendant people are, basically very active people, impulsive people, aggressive people. They always tend to be more competitive in areas of their life compared to other ascendant. And Aries, the reason why it has so much pitta, meaning so much fire within it, because the three legs of Aries are all ruled by fire signs. Remember, the 1st, 5th, and 9th house are known as like the Dharma houses, Dharma Trikon, because they're literally like our legs that we walk on. And imagine the Kendra houses, the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house as the spinal cord that you can stand on and walk on. And this is why if you look at any ascendant, you will have the same element, ruling the triangle, like either fire, air, water, earth. And that's what really sets us who we are in our basic premise. So Sun ruling the 5th house for Aries Ascendant shows that Sun is becoming a controller of children, education, speculative business, how we have fun, and how we relate to games in our life, how we relate to our children in this life. Then, Sun being the 5th lord is now in the 6th house in the sign of Virgo. So what does that tell you? Well, one thing you got to understand, in astrology, the 6th, 8th, and 12th house are known as Dushtana houses, meaning houses that kind of bring obstruction and obstacles in our life. Except when you have malefic planets there, like Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, and Sun. The reason why Sun is malefic, because Sun is our ego. Our ego always gets in our way from attaining our real information, our real wealth of spiritual knowledge. And this is why it's always about I and me. As Ernest said, like, we're always saying, oh yeah, I know astrology, I don't need to learn from you. You're this, you don't know this astrology, you don't know that astrology. So our ego always gets in the way from making great connections with people. That's why it's malefic. So Sun as the 5th lord is in the 6th house, in the sign of Virgo. So what's happening is, you got to understand this transformation. A fixed sign is not going into a dual sign. Dual sign meaning Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And then 5th lord is second from itself. Okay? So the way we have to interpret this is, first of all, the person will have a very feminine outlook on their education and their children. Why feminine? Because Virgo is a feminine sign. Virgo is a sign related to a beautiful woman, beautiful figure, who has these medication and these herbs as part of her symbol, her logo. So the ego always wants to transform itself by serving other people, nourishing other people, servicing other people, and building our ego through those things. Don't think that these people are servicing you because they are, so divine. No, 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 no. I don't care who it is. They're doing it to satisfy their ego. They're trying to build their ego. Oh yes, I just helped somebody today. I just cured somebody today. I should be praised for my services. And yet they are quite feminine in their approach to dealing with 6th house matters. Also, 5th Lord is in the 6th house. So education is going into the 6th house, which is gain of education, because it's second from itself. So what happens is you value education related to health and healing, related to medical field, related to human resources. Because human resources is about servicing other people, fulfilling other people's needs. So this is why it becomes very important for these people to go into some sort of a service like educational field so they can actually make that their career. And 6th house, as you know, is your everyday work life. So, sometimes how our education may not lead to our career. This particular combination actually does. Because it's gain. You're gaining through your education, second from itself. You are going towards your everyday service, because 6th house is the Artha house. 2nd, 6th, and 10th house is the Artha triangle of your work. And Sun is also the Karka of work. What your ego wants to be known as. Sun also represents your father, so shows that your father was in service. Your father must have been in a medical service, government service, even, solving other people's disputes, like a litigator, a lawyer. And relationship with the father is excellent. Don't think your relationship with the father will be bad here because it's in the Dushtana house. No. Your father will instill a lot of values related to service. Perhaps your father takes you every weekend servicing or feeding the poor, feeding the needy. Your father talks about helping the unprivileged. So father instills a lot of good values here. And remember, it's a malefic planet in the malefic house. So it kind of like cancels itself out. It also shows that you become quite competitive. You're not afraid of taking challenges. You're not afraid of facing your enemies. Because again, you're an Aries Ascendant. So your ego is out there to battle. You're ready to battle. At the same time, because it's in a dual sign, shows that the person will be not fickle-minded, but they will be changing their feminine personality from time to time. They will be either very much into servicing people or very much into receiving service from people. This is the nature of the dual sign. You just don't know which way they're falling, on what day. And what happens is, being in the sign of Virgo, the ego becomes quite critical of self and others. It becomes quite critical of who the people that they're serving. Who are the people that they're trying to cure? Who are the people that they're trying to, nourish? They're like, am I supposed to be serving you? Should I serve you? Am I worthy of serving? They get stuck into these little details. And what happens when you get stuck into too much details, you want to perfect those things because you see them, you see the mistakes. So the ego becomes this machine, always wanting to work and perfect, work and perfect, work and perfect. So through Virgo, we see these people become a little bit of workaholics because they're trying to perfect those critical things that they feel are not perfect. And especially the father, in developing your ego, could be quite critical of who you are. He's like, no, you're not perfect yet. Do this and then you'll be perfect. Do this, you'll be perfect. So again, the Dushtana house comes into play. Then the negative house kind of comes into play because it's still doing its thing. So it shows that as much as you love your father, you will always be there for your father, but you knew somehow he criticized you a lot about what you were doing, how you were doing it. Yet love is still there. Now, unless of course your sun is in the axis of Rahu and Ketu, and then Mars aspects it from the 3rd house and Saturn aspects it from the 4th house, you bet your father has abused you, neglected you, became your enemy, which is the 6th house. But if it's unaffiliated, then you will not have to deal with any of these things. And yet these people are also about servicing the government. Because remember, sun is government. So shows that these people could be inclined towards becoming a Marine, going towards being a soldier, servicing the government through becoming an IAS officer, IPS officer. Because remember, as much as we feel that we need to serve the government, the ego is in the way. Ego is an illusion. So as much as these people, those people that you see are completely hardcore, like, I love my country, I'm willing to die for my country, I'm willing to just do anything for my country. They're in an illusion that by servicing the government will love them back, which is not true. Your ego is getting in the way because you'll be this soldier of the government. But if you lose your ego, you will realize that you're just becoming part of this chess game of the government. The government's picking you up and putting you here, and you think you're doing something more important. You probably are not. You are becoming the enemy of the other people in the 6th house. The 6th house is a battleground. Because after you get your education, where do you go? You go to the 6th house to look for a job, compete with other people. Who wants my job? Okay, I'm getting this job by myself. The negativity is still there. But remember, anywhere sun is, that's where you're going to be egoistic about. Like, yes, I serve my country. What did you do? I serve people. What do you do? I defeat enemies. What do you do? So this becomes a part of your lifelong lesson. How do I get rid of this ego to really understand what the 6th house is? So this dual nature is there of Virgo. That I'm servicing, what have you done? I'm servicing, is it right? This back and forth, they're not fixed on their belief. The belief system keeps going back. It's like a pendulum. So this is why no sign is perfect. No sign is divine. Sagittarius, the highest of wisdom, has its flaws. Pisces, the most spiritual of signs, that has its flaws. Every sign has its flaws. But here, if you have this placement, sun is going to be looking at the 12th house of liberation. Sun is going to be looking at the house of isolation, exile, foreign places. And so what happens is, sun is a very forceful, king-like planet. Like, we put our authority onto that planet, or authority over to that house that sun aspects. So sun aspect on the 12th house from the sign of Virgo, they will always criticize foreign policies, always criticize foreign people. Oh, who are you? You're just following this. Look at me, I'm Hindu. I am Brahman. I know everything about this universe. You don't know anything. Come to me and learn from me. You will find that. Oh, who are you? You're Hindu? No, Bible is the way. Christ is the way. Oh, what are you guys? You guys don't have anything in your country like this. So that you like to say, this is what you are, this is what's wrong with you. Come to me and I will show you. For them in this lifetime, that spiritual liberation becomes quite hard to attain because they're becoming critical of that spirituality. Okay, what is spirituality? You know what spirituality is? Servicing people, servicing your country, where they have no clue what 12th house is. Because remember, 12th house is the Marna Karka position of the sun. It's where sun goes to die. So sun, looking at that place, really becomes very critical of that place. He does not like that place. Sun does not like to be in the 12th house. Sun wants to be in the 6th house, directly opposite of the Marna Karka position. He wants to serve the country. He wants to be in the practical world, real world. For him, from the sign of Virgo, the spiritual liberation kind of looks a little shabby. Foreign policies, they're always critical. No matter how perfect this world becomes of foreign policies, they will somehow always find the way to criticize it. Yet what happens with sun looking at the 12th house, they want to go to foreign countries and embed their egos onto other countries. Like, let's say somebody taking the Christian religion to foreign countries and spreading them. Someone taking Hinduism or Islam and spreading that into other countries, saying that no, what you're believing is not right. I am the way. This is why this position of sun becomes quite egoistic. As much as it's all about service, that service is an illusion. Like, yes, we're going to go Iraq and liberate Iraqis. Yes, America, number one. But then they don't really realize what they have done. They don't realize what innocent lives were lost due to their ego. That's what sun is Virgo for Aries Ascendant. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of sun in the 6th house in Aries. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know where your sun is placed, all my books and consultations, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.